All right, all right, all right. So, all right, guys, we are at the home stretch. This is going to be the last lesson, and this is where we put everything together. So everything that you learned, everything that we calculated, we're gonna put it together here. So the fitness strategy, okay, the ultimate fitness strategy. So let's talk about what we're going to do here. So okay, we've gone through 5 lessons. Well, we're going through lesson 2, 3, 4, and 5. In lesson 2, once again, we calculated all the BMRs. So let's put this here. We calculated BMRs. In lesson 3, we calculated macros. And then in lesson 4, we did body fat, so current body fat, which is also equal to your current situation. And then in lesson 6, we found your ideal situation. Okay. So now we're going to go to lesson 6, and we are putting it all together. So this is the strategy, right? The fitness game plan, the ultimate fitness game plan. So let's put here, ultimate fitness game plan. All right, and let's talk about it. So, how many calories you should eat per day? Now, in lesson 1, we found the ideal BMR versus the current. Now, if you are more than in the article I put 20 pounds. If you're greater than 20 pounds, what you want to do is you want to eat your current BMR minus 600. Now, if you get your current BMR, okay, and let's say, for example, I subtract 500 from 1605, okay, so if we do, so my current BMR, so let's say, for example, right now it says that my current BMR at 175 is 1605. So, but notice that it's a 30-pound difference between current and ideal. So if 1605, so we do 1605 minus 500, that equals 1105. So this is a big problem, right? This is way lower than what my ideal BMR is. And essentially, my rule of thumb is you want to eat and train and just get your body used to being at your ideal situation. So if your current, so if you are more than 30 pounds away, okay, but and then you use your current BMR and you subtract 500 calories to create a 500 calorie deficit. Even if you do a 300 calorie deficit, because if I do minus 300, which is probably where at the very least you want to be at a 300 calorie deficit so you can lose weight slowly. That's still gonna put you at 1305 calories to eat per day. And my philosophy is you don't want to eat less than your ideal. Okay. And so in that situation, you have to go by your ideal situation. And even though your deficit is going to be smaller, so we do 1605. So if we get our calculator, if we do 1605 minus 1479, you have an automatic deficit of 126 calories. So when you do exercise and you burn, let's say, an extra 400 calories, it's going to put you at, so let's say you burn 400 calories from exercise extra, it's going to put you at 526, which is exactly where I want you to be. So that's one of the ways that we can calculate which strategy we're going to use. So let's say that let's say this person weighed 200 pounds. Right? Let's say my client weighed 200 pounds. I'm not going to change it. So I'm just going to put here. Let's say they weigh 200 pounds. Okay. And we go to the calculator. All right. So let's go to that BMR calculator. So you can always Google, right? Calorie calculator. So this is the calculator we're going to use. And again, so my client is 24 years old. And this is just a nice little summary for you guys. She was 5'7". Let's say that she weighs 200 pounds. Right? And we're going to find the basal metabolic rate. Okay, remember, so we're going to basal metabolic rate and settings. We're going to use the revised Harris-Benedict, and we're going to calculate that. So now it's 1710. So at 200 pounds, all right, so at 200 pounds, so as part of the example, right? So at 200 pounds, my client's BMR, right, current BMR will be 1710. Now, this doesn't take into consideration the body fat, etc., but let's say it's about 1710. So if I subtract, let's say, if I add, let's say you from exercise, they burn 350 calories from exercise. So that's 2060, if I'm not mistaken, right? So 1710 plus 350, that's 2060. And then let's say we subtract 500 calories, because that's the deficit that we want on average. We want to be anywhere from 300 to 800. You can go up to 800. That is aggressive. But if you feel okay and you don't feel hungry and you don't feel like you're dying, by all means go for it. But if you start feeling hungry, eat a little bit more. But notice that here, so 2060 minus 500 is 1560. Our ideal BMR is 1479. So if she weighs 200 pounds, right, and she's that far away, she's more than so at 145 ideal, she's 55 pounds away. But you notice that this works. So she's going to be able to eat 1,560 calories. So because 1,560 calories is greater than the ideal 1479, all right? And in terms of the macros, you're still going to eat the same amount of protein, but you're going to increase your carbs and your fat intake, right? Just a little bit. You can eat an extra snack, whatever you have to do to get to 1560. However, so now let's say 2060, let's say you want to maximize your fat loss, then what you're going to do is you're going to subtract. So you're going to eat towards your ideal BMR. Again, you could do it. So if I do 2060 minus 1479, I'm at 581. Again, you want to be at a deficit of 300, let's say 200, between 200 to 800. So if you eat at the BMR, you're going to be at 581, that's about as aggressive as you want to be if you want to be 145 pounds. All right. So as long as it's not over 800, you can by all means eat 1479. However, if you want to increase this to 800, 2060 minus 800, that's 1260. That's way below the ideal. We do not want to be there. So even though you might lose weight faster, you're teaching your body to be a smaller person than 145. So if your ideal situation is to be 145, you don't want to do it. So I hope that makes sense. All right. So for my client situation, all right, she's gonna be eating. I'm gonna recommend for her to be at her ideal BMR. So she's gonna eat 1479 while respecting these macros. Okay. And she's going to lose. All right. So she's going to lose. And the way we calculate how much weight you will lose per week, more or less, all right, is like this. So let's say, for example, she's at 1605. And to say that usually you're going to burn about 30 to 40% in an hour of medium intensity. You're going to burn about 30% extra of what you normally would burn if you didn't exercise. So for example, let's get this 1605. So 1605 times 1.3, because 1.3 is going to increase this by 30%. So she's going to burn about 2,086 calories, okay, while she's at 175 with an hour of exercise. If we subtract 1479 she's going to create a 607 calorie deficit at the beginning, right? By eating her ideal BMR, training for an hour. So somewhere around the 600 calories. All right. Now let's say that it's 1600 calories. Okay. And so we're gonna go here. So in her current situation, okay, she's gonna be burning 1605 times 1.3. That equals 2086. And then if we subtract 1479, which is her ideal, right? That gives us, right, 581. That's a deficit she's going to create at the beginning when she's 175 and training for an hour. Now, every pound of body fat, okay, so let's say 1 pound of body fat, right? It's about, some people say 3,700. If you calculate in terms of macros how one gram of calorie has 1 gram of fat has 9 calories, etc. I think the actual number is 3,500 calories. I like to overestimate a little bit to keep it safe. So I'm gonna say that one pound of body fat, we're gonna give it a 3,800 calorie value. So if you divide 3,800 divided by 581, all right. So if we go back to the calculator, 3,800 divided by 3,800 divided by 581. So whenever she creates that deficit of 581, and she does it 6.5 times, she's going to lose 1 pound of body fat. So that means that every time you exercise, you have to have a day. So the days you don't exercise, so the day she doesn't exercise, she's gonna have only a 1605 minus 1479 deficit. Okay, so a small little deficit, about 100. I think it was like 136 calories. But when she exercises, she's gonna have a bigger deficit. Okay, so let's say for example she exercises 5 days. So if you in a week, it's a 7-day week. So let's create a game plan for this person. Okay, so 6.5. Every 6.5 days that she exercises, she's going to lose 1 pound of fat. So for example, let's say she trains five days per week. Trains 5 days per week. And she has 2 days off. Okay. So those 5 days that she exercises, she's going to create a 5 times 607 deficit, right? So 5 times 607, 3,035, right? Deficit. And then 2 days, she's going to have a 1605 minus 1479, right? This is her current BMR. This is her ideal. Okay, so 1605 minus ideal. So what is that? So let's do the math. First, we're going to go 1605 minus 1479. And then we're going to multiply, that's 126. We're going to multiply times 2. So 252 calorie deficit. Okay. So both of these, all right. So this is a deficit, calorie deficit. And deficit means, right, that you're eating less calories than what you burn. If you eat more calories than what you burn, that's where you gain weight. You're at a surplus. All right. So we add both of these up, 3,035 plus 252. That equals 3,287. Okay. So plus 3,035, right? 3,287. Again, 1 pound of body fat has 3,800 calories. We're going to divide this by 3,800 calories. So in 1 week, she's going to lose 0.865 of fat mass. All right. So we go 3,287 divided by 3,800 equals 0.865. All right. So she's going to lose, which means she'll lose that much fat mass per week. Okay. Now, as you lose weight, that deficit gets smaller. So there's going to come a point in time. So if she gets to 165 pounds, her BMR is going to be slower now. Okay, unless she gains a lot of muscle, her BMR is going to be slower. So this number here, this deficit is going to be smaller. So as you start losing weight, your deficit starts getting smaller and smaller until you reach your ideal weight where you're going to have maintenance. Okay, you're not going to lose, unless you keep exercising and you keep eating at maintenance, and you're going to keep getting smaller. You're going to keep losing body fat. But once you get to your goal, you want to, every time you exercise, you want to eat more so that you can maintain your weight. Hope that makes sense. But if let's say, for example, as she loses weight, she increases her activity so she can maintain this deficit. If she can maintain this deficit all the way until her goal, right, this 0.865. So if she has to lose, so now let's talk about how much fat mass she needs to lose. So we want to maintain muscle mass. So let's go, so the next step, all right, so the next step, so step one, you want to see how many calories you're going to be eating. So I already explained that to you guys pretty in depth of more or less how many calories you should be eating. And I want to change this a little bit because I did talk about some new things. In step two, we're gonna subtract lean mass from muscle mass. So that's the first thing we want to look at. Okay, so let's look at this. So lean mass, right? Current is 94 pounds. Ideal lean body mass is 122. So she is 122 minus 94. So if we go by the formula here, by the exact formula, which is subtract your ideal lean mass from current. So ideal, 122, minus current, which is 94, is 28, okay? So it's a positive number, which means it means that this person has to build 28 pounds of muscle, okay? So if this person has to build 28 pounds of muscle, by no means should they be doing a strict dieting / cardio program for fat loss and getting into the best shape of their life, or trying to get into the best shape, because they have to build 20. They are so far from their ideal goal. It's crazy, because at the most, on average, a person can build, let's say, 1 to 2 pounds of muscle every 4 to 6 weeks. So at the beginning, you get the newbie gains. You can probably gain 10. Sometimes I've seen people gain 15 pounds of lean muscle in about 2-3 months. Okay, that's not everybody. Depends on genetics. Depends on how well your body adapts to the training, etc., to the stimulus. So, but either way, you're 28 pounds away from your goal in terms of lean muscle. You're basically skinny fat. And skinny fat is a terminology people use, to describe someone who doesn't look overweight, but has a high body fat. And it's unhealthy. No matter what, even if you look normal, but your body fat is really high, you're unhealthy. You are at risk for a lot of illnesses, high blood pressure, diabetes, heart disease, just a bunch of things. So in her situation, she has to go on a muscle building program. So she has to lift weights in a specific way that's going to allow her to build muscle. Okay? If let's say, for example, let's say that she had 140 pounds of lean muscle. Let's just say she had 140 pounds of lean muscle. And then we get the ideal, 122. And let's say she had 130 pounds. So minus 130 pounds of muscle. When she takes the body fat, let's say for some reason her body fat was a lot lower, and so she's super lean, and her lean muscle mass was higher. But let's say she's normal, or maybe she's muscular. Let's say she currently has a muscular body, and but she wants to be athletic. So instead of being muscular, she wants to be athletic. And let's say if that was the case, and she had 130 pounds of muscle, and you got a negative number here, so ideal minus current, that -8, that negative number means she has to lose 8 pounds of muscle. In that case, she doesn't have to do any muscle building program. She can go on a strict cardio and diet program. And the fact that she's not going to be lifting heavy anymore, the fact that she's not going to be trying to build muscle anymore, and she's doing a lot of cardio, maybe higher repetition with weights just to stay athletic and strong, it means that she's going to lose those 8 pounds of muscle because she's not trying to build it. And she's going to do that until she gets to 122. Okay. At that time, I tell my clients, try to preserve as much muscle as you can because, again, there's nothing harder in the world than to build muscle, but it's just as easy as losing body fat because all you have to do is go on a diet and you'll lose a lot of muscle mass. All right. But that's the situation. Again, so if the number is positive, if you do ideal minus current and you get a positive, that means you have to build muscle. If it's close to 0, I would still build muscle. Even if you're only 3 pounds, let's say this is a -3, and you only have to lose 3 pounds of muscle, you have to be careful because most people, when they go on a strict diet and only cardio program, they end up losing like 10, 15 pounds of muscle. So then even this person, even though they're 8 pounds over the amount of muscle they need, if they go on a strict diet and no weightlifting, whatever, they might get to the point where they're going to lose muscle mass and then they're going to have to build it again. So again, you have to be very careful. But again, if you're within 5 pounds, right? If you have a -5, -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, all right? I would stick to a maintenance muscle building program, like a program that helps you maintain your muscle or at least build some muscle, so that while you're dieting, you don't go on the negative. Because again, it's easy to lose muscle. Because even if you maintain your muscle mass and you get to the body fat that you desire, you can always just start lifting lighter and you're going to lose that muscle mass until you get to the size that you want. Okay. So that was that. All right. And now if we go to this website right here, this is my website. Okay. So in this website, I have just strategies on how to lift weights. Okay, so you have high intensity versus low intensity. If you want to build muscle, if you want to build strength, if you want to build power. All right. Some frequently asked questions. All right, and then some more information here. But definitely take a look at that article if you want to understand a little bit more about how you should be lifting weights. But bottom line is you have to understand the dynamics of lifting. Most people are not really interested in strength training or things like that. So what I can tell you is if you're in a situation where you have to build muscle, the strategy is to lift weights in a specific way where you're going to challenge your body to reach 80% of its max capacity. And we call it a rate of perceived effort. So if you fail a lift, let's say you're doing squats or leg press, and you get to the point where you can't lift it anymore, you do a specific weight and you start doing repetitions, you start squatting, bum, 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 and then you get to a point where you can't lift it anymore. That's 100% effort. If it's really heavy, you're gonna get there faster. So if it's really heavy, you might fail within 3 reps. Okay, 3 squats and you're done. That's 100% max effort. That's a 3-rep max. If you do 10 reps and then you fail, that's a 10-rep max. You want to be at 80%. So if you can do 10 reps, right? And if you can say I can do 10-rep max, that's my maximum. Then you want to train between 6 to 8 at whatever weight, right? So if you have a 10-rep max, you want to do about 6 to 8 reps so you can build muscle efficiently. That's 60 to 80% of your max effort. All right, so you have to calculate these numbers. That's how you should be lifting, and that's for every muscle group. That way you can build muscle, and then doing cardio is gonna allow you to maximize your results because you're gonna be able to burn more calories. And when you train heavy, I would say do low intensity cardio after you work out. Just walk, something easy where you don't destroy your body, because you're gonna be tired, you're gonna be sore when you do muscle building type of training. Um, but yeah, guys. So that's it, man. That's lesson number. That's the last lesson of this program. That was lesson number 6. Okay. So I hope now you understand what you need to do. Okay. So you know how many calories you need to be eating. You know your macros. You know your body fat. You know your ideal situation, and now you know how to go about your training program, so that you can maintain muscle. And if you're in a negative, if you need to lose muscle, you can get away with cardio and dieting a little bit more aggressively. All right. But if you're 5 pounds or at a -5 or greater, right? Or you need to build muscle, you should not be doing a lot of cardio and just dieting. You need to be doing a muscle building hypertrophy. That's what we call it. Muscle building means hypertrophy. You need to be on that type of programming to avoid losing any extra muscles. All right, man. This was the last lesson. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. And again, if you need my personal help, one-on-one, you want me to do this for you, right? Done for you. Make sure you check out the Getting in Shape Decoded VIP package. All right. And either myself or one of my elite handpicked trainers, people that I work with, people that I've trained and I know can do this for you, they're going to be able to do this a program for you, a customized, personalized program for you. And if you want one of us to come to you, okay, and come visit you for 5 days, 2 hours a day, take you to the gym, do all this work for you, and just spend time with you, answer any questions, and get you going for 1 week. You get to spend with us. Make sure you check out the Getting in Shape Decoded Ultimate. All right, and that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and check out the other packages. And make sure you go and check out the Meal Prep Secrets. If you did not get the Meal Prep Secrets, make sure you go to the tab, look at it, and buy it. The Meal Prep Secrets. Remember how I said that when you do your macros, when you go through your macros and you start eating food, you're not always going to hit the numbers. I have a program called Meal Prep Secrets that you choose your ideal weight, and then it's going to tell you how much food you need to eat every single day. And then, right, and I make food recommendations so that you take all the guesswork out. All you got to do is know exactly how much to eat and just weigh. All you need is a scale and the chart, and you're going to get all the amount of ounces, how many ounces of food you need to eat per day, so that you get to your ideal body, right? You don't have to do any calculations. None. Just grab the scale, grab 3 containers, fill your food in, and I'll give you the amounts of food that you need to eat depending on the body type and weight you want to be at. So that's awesome, man. It's a great stuff. So check out that Meal Prep Secrets product. It's super valuable. And all right, guys. So if anything, I'll see you when you watch that video. All right. So thank you for watching. I'm Coach Carlos, and take care. Good luck, and thank you for your support. Take care.